Good evening. Welcome to this time to celebrate together Maundy Thursday, the Thursday in Holy Week where we remember Jesus' Last Supper with his disciples, and where we remember that he gave us the greatest commandment, to love one another as he has loved us. He gathered his disciples together in a home to celebrate a meal, a special meal of the Passover, a meal where we heard about in the story of Exodus about how God's people were called to come together to celebrate a sacred meal, and that the blood of the Lamb over the doorpost would save them from the plague. Tonight, we are gathered together in homes, celebrating meals together, working to keep the plague that is surrounding this country and this world right now at bay, trusting that God saves. And as we come together tonight on this night that Jesus celebrated the Last Supper with his disciples and gave the great commandment to love one another as he had loved us, we remember that Jesus showed his disciples what that love meant by taking water and a basin and washing his disciples' feet, pouring the water into the basin, and gently taking the disciples' feet, washing them of all of their dirt, and then drying them with a towel. When I was a little girl, we would be visiting my grandparents' house around Easter every year. And when we go outside to play, and it would be time for supper, my grandmother would call and tell us to go wash our hands. And so my brother and I would run to the bathroom sink to wash our hands before dinner. And my grandfather would meet us there. And as I would stick my hands in the sink, he would reach around behind my brother and me in a warm embrace and help us wash our hands, putting soap and water and lathering our hands together and rubbing our fingers gently with his hands over our hands. It was a moment not only of getting my hands clean, but it was a moment of understanding and experiencing the love that my grandfather had for me in that tender act of washing and of service. So much of our time these days, as we have been quarantined or asked to stay home as much as possible to help spread the viral infection that is the pandemic in our world right now, we've been told, wash your hands. Wash your hands with soap and water, which is a good thing because that soap breaks down the virus itself. But I'd like us to think of that washing of our hands as not just something we do out of fear of catching the virus or spreading the virus, but as an act of love and as an act of service. When we take water and soap and we wash our hands and we spend the time that we need to get them clean and we dry them with a towel, we are telling our neighbors and our friends and ourselves that we love you, that we want to keep the virus from spreading, but that we want to do for you what we want you to do for us. This time of self-sacrifice, of staying at home, of not getting to do the things we want to do, like come together and worship in this space, is a time that we have the opportunity to show through our actions the love that Jesus showed us. So as you wash your hands this evening, as we wash our hands together, remember Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Amen. I invite you now to pray with me. Brother, sister, let me serve you.